Joining us from CIA Delhi is Shobana Kamineni. She is the past president of CIA and the executive vice chairman of Apollo Hospitals. Ma'am, thank you very much for joining us on Bloomberg Quint. To begin with, what was the key highlight that you thought was that stood out in Ms. Nirmala Sitharaman's budget?
To me, the highlight was first time a woman presenting India's budget. I think it spoke a lot for the intent of diversity and inclusion in this economy, in this government, and in this country. That there's going to be a big place for women and a role to play. Second is when she spoke about no longer being a right but a duty for all citizens to be participating, and I think that was very important. This was a budget that had a very, very short time to get actually the specifics done. So we couldn't expect to see in the coming days. We're going to really look into all the annexures. We're going to see how allocations were put, because we didn't see too much of that like you normally see in a budget. And I think that what she spoke about more was a larger picture of what India would be at 75 to achieve a $5 trillion economy. What is it that we need to do? We need to have more private-public partnerships. We need to start opening up more sectors. We have to start disinvestment. We have to get the economy going, the rural. So these were just intents that were stated, that in many, many areas that she picked on. So these were the big picture.
The finance minister did speak about expansion of healthcare.
Work in progress.
The finance minister did speak about the expansion of the healthcare schemes which are there. Do you see that enhancing the standards across the country, standardization of healthcare available to all people?
I think that we, as the private sector, we certainly support Ayushman Bharat. This is the scheme for the underprivileged, and as such, that's the way it should be. We do not support regulation overall, because this is a free country, this is a democratic society. People should have the right to be able to choose whether they want to go to a hospital that has international accreditation, or you want to go to your neighborhood, and they'll pay different price points. So this standardization, I think that is probably not something that we would look to as something that would help in creating more healthcare facilities, because that is the crux of the issue. India needs many, many, many more hospitals to come up across the geography, and they need it for the Ayushman Bharat. They need it for the people who can afford to pay also.
Do you see the budget having enough to reduce litigation, tax litigations, and other issues which have been some sore points for the industry in the last 2 years?
The last statement she made was actually super positive, when she said that what this government was going to do is the earlier VAT and the other tax, the indirect tax cases which were there, they were just going to create a settlement on it, because we really have moved to the GST. So it's better that all those thousands of cases that you find a way to exit them. So that's a very positive point.
And about simplification of GST, which she spoke about, but do you foresee the GST Council moving towards a much more linear tax regime, maybe a two tax rate regime in the near future?
I think that the GST Council has several challenges in front of them. One is that they have to bring more of sectors into that. Petroleum and real estate, all these are out of it. So they have the ability to grow that, but they also have the ability to make it simplified. And she spoke about some of those in terms of export GST and how they create the platform immediate transfer back, and so many of these were spoken about. But I do think that GST is a subject that is actually now taken separately by the council and gets done whenever they have a meeting. It is not just a budget issue like it used to be in the past.
Shobhana Kamineni, thank you very much for joining us today on Bloomberg Quint.
Thank you.